Guys like this, Rothkopf and others have been like, join us, Alex. You're smart. Come, you'll be very successful with us. And then later they just, you don't want to be with us? Because you go to Harvard and all these places and you work and work and work. And I guess you're from the right family and you work 18 hours a day for years in some law firm. And then finally they invite you to go play golf for them. Kind of like Judge Smales in Caddyshack. He says, how would you like to come by? Huh? And mow my lawn. And then after you've done that for another 10 years or so, maybe you marry one of their, interbred, mentally ill daughters and put up with her crap. And then I guess you go in the steam room with dad and then, service him, with your father-in-law. And seriously, folks, then you go to a little satanic ritual. And then next you're at the mansion, having some pedophile fun. And Jerry Sandusky drops by. And then you're in the club and they say, young man, it's time to run you for Congress. That's right. We'll have you in 2 years. I'm just hypothetically talking about the whole genre of these people. Certainly not this guy. He's a wonderful person. You are the pretender. I will never surrender. All right, let me give you a smattering of the news. It's a big news day, obviously, and a lot of big guests joining us as well. We have the Secret Service agent who's valiantly exposed the bizarre behaviors and criminal behaviors going on inside the globalist infestation known as the White House. He says people need to know the real Hillary Clinton and how dangerous she really is. He calls her a dictator. That is coming up, Gary Byrne. We're working on getting Roger Stone on short notice. There's so much stuff breaking on that front. I talked to some folks involved with the campaign, and then I'm able to bounce that off Stone. And he likes to be not pessimistic, but likes to really lowball things. And he confirmed to me when I talked to him on Sunday, this wasn't off the record, but he said he was going to wait till the polls started coming out. And sure enough, they don't really release their own internal polls. Hillary does that, or they have their friends do polls and then skew them, and then she has them released and claims that they're independent. The Trump people, of course, have Ron Paul's former pollster. He's a libertarian, and some other groups, and they're doing real polls. They really want to know real optics, what's going on. And what was it, 3 polls? He's basically margin of error, 3 points ahead, 2 points behind, basically dead heat. Several other big polls nationally. He is 7 to 10 points ahead. That was this Sunday, internal Trump polling. And I know there's some infighting reportedly inside there about the fact that they're not releasing these, but for whatever reason they're not. And then, of course, I told you on Sunday that Trump, and I told you on Monday that Trump was in a dead heat or 7 to 10 points ahead. That's now, you notice, coming out in separate polls by Rasmussen, by Gallup, a bunch of others. Rasmussen polled, Trump pulls ahead of Hillary. The tables have turned, and every time he takes the gloves off and savages her, she goes down. Now, understand, folks, you're going to see polls out there with Jimmy Fallon or whoever having Hillary on going, man, congratulations, you're 15 points ahead. He might say she's 300 points ahead. And you're like, well, that's impossible. She can get 100% of the vote and only 60% vote in national elections. That's impossible. That's my point. I mean, why not just have Jimmy Fallon or whoever just announce, oh, I hear you're 15 points ahead of that racist, bigot, homophobe, Donald Trump. I mean, none of it's true. None of it's true. In fact, if you get down to brass tacks, he's economically conservative. He's very socially liberal, folks. That's the truth about Donald Trump. He's a nationalist. I want the states to decide social stuff. The people decide social stuff. Quite frankly, it's important to me, but that's not overall a president's job. I mean, what they do personally in their life is an example, but it's the states, as Ron Paul's always said. So it's not on my radar. He's a very moral person, though, when it comes to courage, and God hates a coward. And so that's why I admire Donald Trump. But he is ahead in a lot of polls. And these are scientific polls, or he's in a dead heat. The tables have turned. Well, see, but that's a Rasmussen article. They haven't turned. He's been ahead of Hillary the whole time. You've heard the callers call in, and you've seen the examples. Callers go, it's incredible. I saw a story, and now I can't search for it about Hillary and her crimes. Google admits they're censoring. They've been caught doing it. Facebook admits they've been caught doing it. But people just can't believe it. They're like, Alex, they're censoring. Yes, I know. So we need to let everybody else know what's going on. But just tell other people it's an illusion to make you feel like if you're supporting Trump, you're a loser, so that you maybe go, okay, well, I want to bet on a winner. It's a well-known phenomenon in football or other sports, hockey, where if a team is looking like it's going to go in the playoffs, suddenly they start selling more jerseys, more hats, selling more tickets, more hot dogs, more beer. But suddenly if they have a big upset and lose, well, people will just jump and stop wearing those jerseys and just go out and buy the other team's jerseys. They want to be associated with a winner. And yeah, it's kind of like if you're associated with a winning family, or you're associated with a winning, or you're a man married to a powerful woman, or vice versa, then that matters. But being associated with a, quote, winning team, it's all just delusional. And it's the same thing with Hillary. Because you're a chump if you vote for Hillary. You're an idiot. You're a moron. She's laughing at you. I mean, she is an absolute criminal, psychopathic dirtbag. Stay with us. But that's what human freedom is about. Being able to put yourself at risk, being able to go to the edge. That's where you expand your mind, expand your neurons. It's where you join, really, your people, your ancestors in all the bold things they did. But we shouldn't risk our lives on just cheap thrills or fun. All of us are guilty of it at a certain extent. We're meant to have those instincts and those drives to dare greatly and to stand up against bad people. And it's the failure to face down these demons that has brought us to the state we're at now. And you see civilization, society drifting towards societal collapse and oblivion. Later in the broadcast, I'm not sure when, but I will air it. There is a special report that Rob Dew took about 2-3 days to edit together with clips and documentation, where I really break down the globalist plan to use food as a weapon and trigger a worldwide financial collapse to try to terrorize the population back into submission. And when you actually hear what the head of the EU says, and the deputy head, and the German chancellor, and the German president, and when you actually hear what the Council on Foreign Relations is saying, and Obama, when you see everything that they're pushing and everything that they're engaged in, it's amazing because they're actually saying it. And we've got their quotes, we've got the articles, we've got the statements in the video. In fact, the video is now on Infowars.com. We can put it up on screen for TV viewers. I can give you the headline that I was going from memory and give you the actual headline. There it is. Globalists intend to use food as key weapon in world takeover. Yeah. That's not a sensational headline. That's really what they say they're doing. It's amazing. Look at these quotes out of the Council on Foreign Relations. Foreign Policy magazine, where they talk about the Brexit being a, quote, utter repudiation of bankers and economists, an example of how extremism has gone mainstream, and how they must, quote, combine forces to stop us and stop today's citizen revolt in the United States, Britain, Europe, where we may upend politics and nothing else has in his lifetime. And they go on to talk about how to control us with our incomes and with our growth rate. As if, oh, if you don't let us run things, things are going to get bad, when their own stated goals are a post-industrial world where we work for less, have less, pay higher taxes to live in a 220-foot square foot coffin apartment that costs more than 1,000 square foot. I mean, they know what they're doing. They admit their program. And they just think you're too stupid to go figure it out. Well, even folks that don't want to be informed, as they start to lose everything, they're going to go and find out who's done it. And they're going to find out it's people like you. James Traub, that are guilty. What is the sentence? Guilty. 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 We sentence you to the Phantom Zone. I wish we could do that. It's like hell. Just go be with people like yourself. What is the sentence? Guilty. And their arrogance convicts them. Public statements. German president. The elites are not the problem. This is a quote. The elites are not the problem. The populations are the problem. And then what do they recommend they use? Same thing they did to keep you out of the Brexit. The economy will implode. You'll all be homeless. You need us. We run everything. Submit to us or we'll bring you to your knees. They'll bring you to your knees if you let the boa constrictor that's wrapped around you maintain control. We figured out it was a boa constrictor. It's hissing in your ear saying, there's no global government. There's no tyranny. There's no problem. And you're like, okay, boy, it's hard to breathe, though. Well, just go to sleep, it tells you in your ear as it's wrapped around you. And the patriots are there going, no, it's a boa constrictor. The patriots like a little angel on our collective shoulder. No, it's a boa constrictor. See its spots? See it? Are you having trouble breathing? That's a snake tongue coming out licking your face. It's not kissing you. It's getting ready to crush you and eat you. And so, but the snake says if I resist, it'll eat me. It's already eating you, sweetheart. It's a snake. What did Donald Trump say? We've surrendered. Hillary's a foreign agent of the Chinese that run the trade war. Total veritas, total honor, total courage. I mean, I guarantee you Hillary Clinton throws fits when a newspaper writes a bad article about her or she sees a YouTube video making fun of her. Can you imagine that veritable witch creature, the witch bitch? Can you imagine the convulsions she's having right now? And so she just peacocks that crazy Joker face like all the time. She looks completely nuts. I think Hillary, and I'm serious, I think she may go completely insane before the election. And I think we all, metaphysical's real, folks. We should all pray for justice against Hillary Clinton. We should all ask God to lead, God, and direct us and just help us together focus our wills against Hillary Clinton. What we all need to do, my friends. That means politically, at every level, and spiritually, and culturally, and economically. This is a war. You don't lose engaging in this war. You spread your wings. You begin to truly live. I know our audience already knows that, but I'm talking to new viewers. And we're starting to see a lot of controlled leftists, a lot of controlled right-wing folks. High-level editors of major newspapers, major publications are calling me up and apologizing. It's been happening the last decade, but it's epidemic now, saying, oh my God, it's all real. It's really happening. I just met with a bunch of current generals, and they said, listen to Alex Jones. He knows what's going on. This is the truth. We can't tell you what's going on. It's all classified. Listen to him. And by the way, I want to say something. We've had everybody on from Cy Hirsch to Daniel Ellsberg of the Pentagon Papers to Colonel Schaefer to former KGB folks that are whistleblowers to, I mean, you name it, Charlton Heston, and the whole nine yards. I mean, we've interviewed the people that write the biological weapons treaties, and we've had people on that were the roommates of Mitt Romney. I mean, we've just had everybody on. We've looked at every angle, basically. And we continue to look at the new angles that come up from different perspectives, but we've looked at a lot of angles, okay? I don't want to say every angle, but more angles than probably anybody else ever has. Because most people that are in the CIA or different analyst agencies, they kind of study one little discipline because they want to be the experts on that, okay? We are organic human intelligence against the New World Order, and so I study everything, wide spectrum. And the globalists are failing. The globalists are falling apart. The globalists are a joke. That's why they claim, oh, we're collapsing everything to build on its ashes. That's true in a way because they help grease the skids but insulate themselves, be the last man standing scenario. But the truth is they can't manage anything, and they screw everything up. And their spirit is destructiveness, so they just claim they are deploying destruction, command destruction to rebuild something on it, to hide their spiritual ineptitude. Because the devil is never a maker. The less that they give, they're a taker. And it goes on and on, on and on and on. And they'll tell you that the moon is just the sun at night. And when you walk in golden halls, they'll tell you you can keep all the gold that falls. Quoting some poetry, I forget who wrote it. CFR member calls on elites to rise up against ignorant masses. Wealthy heir to Bloomingdale's chain. I always love how it's some fourth-generation fop whose eyes don't even point the right direction, just snurgling around, groveling, like, we've got to take their rights. We've got to show them who's boss. Yeah, we got to